Everyone, we're here, we're back, and today we have a court case show react. So get ready for someone to be put in their place for the dumb thing that they have done and or said. Let's get started.
Your Honor, case number 21 on the calendar in the matter of Jesse versus Legand. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
According to what I read in the complaint several years ago, you knew Mr. Legant, who was a psychic reader?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he owns a psychic school?
Correct.
How long?
A psychic school? Is that a thing? Like, a school where you can learn to be a psychic? Maybe I'm just ignorant, but I thought that was supposed to be like a gift you were born with. I didn't know that you could like go to a school and just learn how to be a psychic. I guarantee you there's probably a lot of YouTube videos that are like how to be a psychic, and then people just believe they're a psychic and then run it out of their house and people believe them.
How long had you known him?
I first met him in 1998.
How?
I saw an advertisement of his in a newspaper.
And have you been using him for readings since?
Counseling, yes.
What particular?
Counseling? He's a psychic. He's not a therapist or a mental health counselor. Like, I know people use psychics as, like, I guess kind of an alternative way when they feel like they have nothing else to go to. They've gone, I guess, in their mind, or maybe they have tried everything, and their next move would be a psychic. I have seen a psychic before. I always thought about, like, doing kind of a story time based on my psychic experience because it was very interesting. And, yeah, I thought about maybe doing a story time about that. So let me know if that would be something you guys would be interested in, is the time I saw a psychic.
Training do you have?
Clairvoyant training of a 1-year intensive, 3 years of teacher's training. I have over 6 years of training. I also have my certificates if you'd like to see those.
In any event, you wanted to take a trip. Mr. Legrand was interested in going. We discussed it. He didn't have the money. According to you, you loaned him the money to go, and the understanding was that he would pay you back either in cash or readings.
True.
He went on the trip. For a while, he did, in fact, pay you back by doing readings. Somebody would keep a record of, I assume, of how much each reading was, and you would check off how much was left on the debt. At some point, he missed a scheduled appointment.
Well, actually, Your Honor, he was making payments also. There was no set schedule for our appointments. It was whenever we decided.
So he was paying in cash.
So he was doing what he was supposed to do. He was giving her the readings, and he was paying. So, interesting. You typically don't hear that. It's usually, like, one or the other. And for me, like, if I was a psychic and I owed someone money, even though the whole, like, trip thing, she was going on a trip and he just wanted to go, so she paid for everything. Doesn't he have a job being a psychic? But if I could just, give readings instead of needing to pay her back, I would definitely choose that. So, interesting how he was doing both. Huh.
Well,
Actually, yes, that was mostly the agreement.
in check and or cash?
He would deposit it directly into my account, and sometimes he paid in cash, and sometimes he wrote a check. I have the deposit.
So he would directly deposit into you gave him your account? That is some sketchy, sketchy stuff. Like, I don't know. I do not trust people ever. And I know times are maybe different than in the early 2000s, but I don't know. I wouldn't just be... I would really prefer a check. Like, just write me a check, and I'm totally okay with that. Or cash. Cash is fine. But then you have to have, like, you always make sure you have it in writing, like, keep a sheet of paper, and put in the amount and the date, and have them sign it of you got the money, so that way you have it as record. And that's more for the defendant than, I guess, for her. But it's good on both ends.
It slips.
I mean, he had your bank account number?
Well, yes.
Did you have a social relationship with him?
Well, it wasn't very friendly in terms of a social relationship. I mean, we knew each other professionally, and I trusted him.
You were talking about how you wanted to go on a trip, and he wanted to go with you, and you paid for him to go with you. That sounds like a friendship. I don't know. I don't typically just invite my psychics along to my vacations with me. That's not very normal unless she thinks that she needed psychic readings during her trip. maybe he said something bad was going to happen to her on the trip unless like he came or something like that.
As a teacher and my mentor.
Oh, so she was not just getting reading, she was also going to his school to learn how to be a psychic? Because she said teacher and mentor, so he is her sensei, and he is teaching her how to be the ultimate psychic. Okay, so then she must be paying him, right? To go to his school. That's what I would think. You would, pay to be a psychic and get schooling for that. So then wouldn't she just say, like, hey, why don't I just not pay for the school? You teach me. Maybe that's what the readings are. The readings are teaching you how to be a psychic, so that's kind of where that was. Plus, he would also pay. It just seems weird that they would do both. It should be like one or the other. That's what I think.
All right, so I see you made some payments to her.
That's correct.
So you consider this a loan?
No.
Well, what was it for?
It was a donation.
No. What?
What is he donating to her? He's just giving her money? Here you go. Here's your money. I'm donating to you. You're a poor soul. Here's $100.
Was the money that you paid her?
That was the interest. Initially, this is the third trip I've been on with Miss Jessie.
We're talking about only this one, sir.
Okay. So in this case, Miss Jessie wanted me to go on a second trip to the Philippines. I clearly explained to her that that was not something I could afford.
So she wanted him to come along with her? Was she going there to teach other kids how to be a psychic, or she was just going on a vacation? And he went on 3 vacations with her, and she still doesn't consider it like a friendship? I mean, you can have someone, like a teacher who's teaching you, but you don't need to bring them along on a vacation unless, like, you're kind of closer with them. I don't know. I've had many a teacher in my life, and I've never invited them on a vacation with me. So, that's odd. But I mean, hey, I guess it works, and he agreed to, or she agreed to pay for him. She must have really wanted him to come. He must be, a really good psychic, and she just needs him around 24/7.
So she decided to make a donation to the school so that the school could sponsor my trip. In exchange for that donation, she was to receive hours of readings. The payment she received was when she asked for me to cover the interest on her visa. And I agreed to do that. I was grateful for the donation. I have the donation right here. I have the check.
I see it too.
It says donation with a big smiley face.
Were these paid out of a private account or the school account?
It was paid out of the school's account.
So all these checks were school checks? None yours?
Right.
So he's paying her back with the school's, so his business's money. I think that's what I'm getting from that. Which, I mean, I guess it's his business, he can do whatever he wants, but I don't think you can do that. Or at least you shouldn't do that, because then you're just writing it off as like, oh, it's just a donation, and then you can, it's all tax-free. Huh.
You're not very clairvoyant, sir. Show this to the defendant, please. That's not the school's account, is it?
Oh, no. I may have used my own account to make a check payment.
You may have used an account? So you also paid with your money? And the school's money? I don't know. For him, I kind of want to know what this trip is, because they just made it seem like they just went on vacation and, the school was totally fine with, it had to be something work-related, otherwise you can't get away with that. Or they just made it work-related. This guy is, he's becoming very, scammy and scummy to me, which is, not every psychic is like that, for sure, but it seems like a lot of them are.
Entirely possible.
What?
You didn't see that one coming, did
What?
you?
You didn't see that?
I love her. He's like, oh, what a great psychic. Didn't think that we'd pull this out, did you? That's funny.
Comment at all. Show him this one. Your account or the school's account?
That's my account.
One more. Uno más on this page.
Just to make sure.
Also my account.
He didn't even look. He's like, yeah. So if he's paying her back for a donation, I guess with the school's money, that would make sense if it's meant, like, for the school something, I don't know. But then he's also paying with his money, so then it is clearly a loan if you're paying with your own money, but then he's also using the school's money. That's illegal.
Honor, the
Stop!
Some of the audience just say that's right. They really don't like this guy. I've heard a couple things in the audience of people like making like comments, which I'm shocked that Judge Judy hasn't like screamed at the audience, which she does plenty of times.
I'm not going to read your account number, sir, but it also appears that when cash was deposited directly into her account, it was deposited directly into her account with the same numbers on the accounts that were on these checks.
Can I see that?
Yes, certainly. Here you go.
Huh, that's interesting.
I bet it is.
Because when I called the bank to get copies of this so that I would know in preparation for you, they explained to me there was no way to trace that information.
Well,
The bank can pull up almost anything. I doubt that you asked for the correct thing and or you saw it and you realized that that doesn't look good on you, so you're not going to bring that.
see what I'm looking at, don't
I
you?
do see what you're looking at, and the agreement I had with her was to pay the interest on her card.
All I'm asking you is whether the cash and the checks that she ascribes to this loan came out of the school's account or out of your personal account.
Right.
So you would be saying now that it came out of your personal account.
Obviously.
Obviously.
I believe there were others that were taken from the school's
I'm
account.
looking to see yours.
And
You have
like
any
I
proof?
said, the bank said
Listen,
they
no,
couldn't
no.
trace this
No,
information.
listen to me, sir. Listen to me. Show me any checks that you have from the school to pay her. I do, however, see some checks, sir, that just say Bank of America, and it looks like they're from a different account.
That's right.
So sometimes you paid out of your personal account, and sometimes you paid out of the school account. You getting my drift, sir?
Not fully.
Oh, really good psychic here. I think it's pretty simple. You are paying out of your personal account when it's convenient and out of the school's account when it's convenient. I don't know. Doesn't seem very smart of you.
Well, when you have a business and you start commingling money as to what is a business expense and what is not, you have a serious problem. And clearly, in looking over this paperwork, it appears to me as if you were commingling what you considered a business expense with a private debt. The IRS doesn't like that. You should know that.
I did what I could to make sure she received her interest payments.
No, we all know that that's a lie. We all know that you definitely said, like, I will pay you back for this trip. And that you also, I guess, promised her readings, but those fell through. I don't know. But then for you to go on, like, 3 trips? 3? I'm still on that. Why? What does she see in this guy?
In a time.
He must be a really good psychic to her, because if she took him on 3 personal trips, and is going to his school, I assume, to be a psychic, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I mean, I think.
Don't you make a living from this company?
Yes, I do.
Then you should have paid her, not commingled funds. That's a very bad thing, Mr. LeGrant. With commingled funds, the IRS is going to come and get you.
IRS is scary. They're scary. If you do things that are bad. But in general, like, tax season, nobody likes it.
Happened that precipitated this lawsuit?
He had made his last payment in November, and in December he promised me a payment on December 20th. And I was counting on that, and it was Christmas time, and I didn't get the payment. And I had an appointment with him scheduled for the 22nd, which I was going to discuss the matter with him, and then he didn't show up for the appointment and didn't let me know.
Does he come to your house, or do you go to
No,
his
it's a
school?
telephone. It's a telephone.
It's a telephone?
Yes, we hardly ever see each other in person.
It's a telephone reading? Is that a thing? Am I just like... I am definitely not, like, well-versed in the world of psychics, but I feel like you need to, like, see someone in front of you to be able to, like, give them a reading, but I guess you could just, like, hear them over the phone. That just sounds sketchy. That just doesn't sound real. But I guess... Maybe.
And so I left him a voicemail saying that, I think that this was unfair and I should be treated better. And at which point he sent me an email saying that he really thought that was the most mean, vicious thing anybody had ever said to him. And he really, literally never talked to me again.
What did she say on the voicemail?
She was incredibly ugly. I never finished both voicemails because it was too irate and too mean, too vicious.
Well, she wanted her money, and you stood her up for the phone psychic reading. This is right before Christmas, which everybody is stressed during the holidays, so she probably, wanted her payment and wanted her free reading, which is what you owe her. Not that anyone should, I guess, go off on someone, but sometimes people just snap.
Attacking everything she could think of and everything she knew about me. Basically what happened in the beginning of December, I was still working with her and giving her readings. She explained to me that she lost her job, she was afraid she was going to lose the mortgage on her house.
Yeah, so oh my god, she was so stressed, this poor lady, and she's turning to him for readings of, will my life get better? And he's probably saying, yes, it's all going to turn out wonderfully. And then when he doesn't answer her, he thinks that that's okay, and it's a phone, he really doesn't, he still has to take time out of his day, of course, to, talk to her on the phone, but it really isn't, he probably does it from, his office, or maybe even his house. He could do it from his house. Ugh, I don't like this guy. No, boo, guy, boo.
Was in an incredibly strapped financial position. She began asking me if I could borrow money from my balance off, and I explained to her that the agreement was in exchange of readings. This was not
Well, that's
allowed.
not
That's
true.
not true. Why are you giving her money if it's in exchange for readings? Why would you give her any sort of money? If she paid for your trip on her credit card, that's on her. You have no thing if you're I will, do it in exchange for readings. You have no reason to give her money for the interest on her credit card. There's no reason for that. You were clearly giving her money. This guy.
That's not true, because there were payments made both out of the school's account and out of your personal account.
That was
to her.
interest.
That's what you say. That's not what I find. Keep going.
So she was explaining all of this to me. I explained to her that this was not the agreement, this was not what I was going to do. She pressured me for a number of weeks. She did ask me to make a payment on the 20th in December because 25th was a Sunday and also Christmas. I explained to her that I get paid on a certain date, it takes a number of days to clear the bank. I'll do the best I can to try to do that, but that may not happen. And that went in one ear, right out the other.
All right, good. Did you make a payment in January?
I did not make a payment in December.
Did you make a payment in January?
Or
is my
January,
question.
or since.
Right. Why not?
Because she threatened to sue me.
She didn't sue you in January, did she?
No, she filed, actually on January 20th, I was on the way to the bank because she had left these voicemails. I wasn't sure how I was supposed to handle this situation, and I told her that I would get back to her in January.
Well, so you were sort of jerking her around.
No.
Because you didn't pay the amount in December, because you said you get paid on a certain day, and you don't know whether it'll clear and whatever. All right, so you don't pay a December 20th, you don't pay a December 23rd. There's December 27th, December 28th, December 29th, December 30th, December 31st. She doesn't hear from you until January 20th?
No, she received an email from me.
So, yeah, why didn't you just pay her? If it's just $100 here and there, just give her the money. And if she's threatening to sue you, I'd be okay, fine. If it's that big of a deal to you, I'll give you the money. He clearly knew that he was supposed to be giving her money. Otherwise, he wouldn't be, he would be oh, what? Sue? Why would you sue me? He's oh, I don't know, she threatened to sue me, so screw it, I won't give her the money. Like, that's so dumb.
Explaining that I felt her messages were incredibly mean and
Well,
that
show me
I
the
would...
you have the email? I would like to see
Yeah,
the copy
sure.
of the email that you sent to her.
He brought a lot of papers.
I was very angry.
Covering your bases.
People who owe money usually are angry. Okay, so they were the meanest, cruelest, etc. Her 2 voice messages, and you choose to cut her off and not have anything to do with her until the holidays are over in December, because you don't want to be bothered during the holidays
Because
with
my
any
mom
bad
was in a serious
with any bad
accident.
vibrations. And I'll let you know how I plan to handle the future in January. Well, what'd you do at the beginning of January, sir? The holidays are over.
Yeah, I was thinking about how to handle the situation. I wasn't sure how to do that. The 20th was coming by in January.
So you took 2 weeks in January to just think about how to handle it? Like, do I pay her? Do I not? Do I let her sue me? Do I not? Like, this poor girl, she's like, just give me my money. Just clearly they had, I mean, she could say, like, I mean, oh, we had no friendship, but I think that they did have a friendship. And when you go on 3 trips with someone, or even just one vacation with someone, they are close with you. Oh, God, this guy is so scammy.
I decided to make
20th?
the 20th of January.
Well, so you were thinking between January 2nd and January 20th.
That's right.
Why did you say that like that's normal, that it takes you 2 weeks to decide if you're going to pay her or not? Just give her the money. You own a business. You know, I assume a lot about her because, when you go to a psychic, you kind of like go into more personal stuff. So, what?
Let me hear you counterclaim, Mr. LeGrand.
What's he counterclaiming? What do you... Get out of here!
After Miss Jessie complained about this December incident, she did request communication from me. I did say that I would communicate with her in January about the situation. Before I had a chance to do that, she went to my website. She scoured through all of the emails, addresses, everything she could get, and began emailing everybody from clients, students, about the situation. Very, very crazy emails.
Well, show me.
Sure. Here's one she sent to the travel agent. I'll give you all of them. And also, as far as missed appointments, that has happened in the past.
I'm not interested in that.
That, like, she's missed appointments? I mean, that happens. When I win at court, I will publish the results wherever and whenever I can, because these innocents have a right to know that they are not safe in a field that literally requires the highest integrity at all times. His school advertises that it assists in personal development, deals with private, deeply personal issues, and his donations are high. Oh, wow. If he acts selfishly and dishonestly with me now, publicly and shamelessly, it speaks directly of his inner core character or lack thereof. That's actually not that, like, I mean, that's really not that bad. She actually could have been a lot more, like, aggressive, and she's clearly just letting them know, like, a personal experience that she is having with him, which is true. Because it's like, you go on Yelp and you see, like, a bunch of positive things, and then there's always that, I mean, not one, but let's just say one person who had a terrible experience, and they will say, like, never go here again, worst place I've ever been to, they treated me like garbage, and it's like, you can go to that place all the time, be treated amazingly, but then one person may have had a bad experience. So, you can't, that's not really slander. If one person has had one bad experience and is sharing it with people, they can do that.
All she does is talk to whoever she talks to about the fact that you owe her money.
These are my students
Who
that
cares?
she ripped off my website.
Who cares?
And she ripped off your website? Well, if they're there, like, if it's public knowledge, right, then she can contact whoever she wants. Unless she, like, went undercover and she's, like, a super secret hacker, like, then we have a problem.
Shouldn't have had him on your website.
It has
Feed
none
one.
of their business.
Listen to me. She's entitled to do that. She doesn't slander you, sir. She says that you have an honest dispute with her. She believes you owe her money, and you are not paying her the money that you owe her. She doesn't say anything scandalous about you. You may not like it, but she doesn't say anything that's actionable. Can you please explain to me how a school professing to be spiritual and ethical can attempt to steal this money loaned in good faith? That's the way she feels.
No, it wasn't a loan.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something, sir. And I'm telling you that it was a loan. It was a loan because you repaid it. And you not only repaid it, you repaid it, some of it out of your funds and some of it out of school funds, which you can't do.
Yeah, see, it would be one thing if, like, it really was just, like, he wanted to pay for her credit card thing. Don't take it out of the school funds. Or only take it out of the school funds. I don't know, something like that. Like, don't mix and match. That's bad.
Not correct.
Listen. Some of the people that you deal with, Mr. LeGrand, may revere you as being some sort of spiritual leader. I guarantee you, I'm not one of those people. All right? I'm telling you, you went on a trip, you slept, you ate, you took a plane, you, not the spirits, your body took the plane to the Philippines and had a nice trip. Pay for it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,697. That's all.
All right, and that's the end of that case. Yeah, that guy was scummy and scammy to me. I did not like him. I'm glad that, you know, the plaintiff seemed just like a nice, like, lady. The school thing kind of confuses me because I thought, like, she was going to school to, like, also be a psychic, but maybe she was. I mean, she did say teacher and mentor, so I assume that the readings were maybe, like, he was teaching her how to do readings over the phone. Which is still weird to me. All of this is weird. I'm confused, but I'm glad she's getting her money back. Hopefully she never talks to this guy. And maybe she no longer believes in psychics. Who knows? Alright guys, that's the end of this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really, really liked it, please subscribe. Let's talk all things this and psychics in the comments below. And until my next video, I will see you guys then. Bye!